Google is truly a giant on the internet with such an incredible ability to search and collect information that almost no one can escape its reach. First, thanks to Google and YouTube for letting me share this story and helping me earn some income, enough to keep my passion alive. Before diving into Google's story, let's check out some crazy numbers about Google's search power. Every day, Google handles more than 8.5 billion searches, meaning on average, each person in the world searches more than once daily. Every second, about 99,000 people around the world type keywords into Google. Imagine this. Every time you close your eyes, thousands of searches happen, and even when you sleep, searches keep going all around the planet. Google has created an index, meaning it records and stores more than 1.8 billion websites, even your personal address details. This means almost any website you think of, Google knows where it is and what it contains. Google's index weighs over 100 million gigabytes. To put it simply, if you use a 1 terabyte hard drive, you'd need 100,000 of those drives to hold all the indexed data Google has collected. The important thing is Google is super fast. It takes only a quarter of a second to return search results. Yes, just a quarter of a second. You get millions of results with one click, sometimes before you even think of anything. Google currently holds 90% of the global search market. But the most amazing is the return of wildlife. Wolves have made this land their domain, with their numbers 7 times higher than in Eastern European forests. Deer roam calmly along streets once clogged with cars. Bears, wild boars, foxes, and eagles appear more often. Both were ambitious guys who shared a dream: how to help people easily find and access info on the internet. Back then, the web was still new and confusing. The search engines at that time were rough and not very effective. Search results pages were often misleading, filled with ads, and the info wasn't really what users wanted. Larry and Sergey realized that instead of just matching keywords, why not rank pages based on their trustworthiness? Only by trusting pages can users get what they need. This idea led to the creation of the PageRank algorithm, which ranks websites based on the number and quality of links to them. A year later, in 1996, they started testing this project called Backgroup, but 2 years later, they renamed it Google. Early on, many people, even in Vietnam, mispronounced the name. The name comes from Google, a math term for the number 1 followed by 100 zeros, showing their ambition to organize a huge amount of info worldwide. If you know a bit about it, you know what ones and zeros stand for. Google started simply like that. Their first office was a rented garage in Melon Park, California. At first, the company had just a few employees and some servers made from old parts bought from a store. It was like a local internet cafe in Vietnamese slang. Though started small thanks to Larry and Sergey's creativity and passion, Google quickly became a phenomenon. Just 2 years after launching, Google attracted millions of users with its interface that was simple and fast. Compared to giants like Yahoo or AltaVista back then, Google stood out by focusing on delivering accurate search results without distracting users with tons of ads. In short, Google stood out because it focused on users. By 2000, Google launched Google AdWords, an online ad platform letting businesses run ads based on search keywords. That's when they started making money. This platform quickly became Google's main moneymaker. Every time a user clicks an ad, Google earns a small fee. In 2003, just a few years in, ad revenue hit $1.5 billion, marking early success in their business strategy. But they didn't stop there. Google kept expanding with new products and breakthrough tech yearly. In 2004, Gmail launched with a free storage of 1 gigabyte. You have to know, 1 gigabyte in 2004 was huge compared to USB sticks then. Gmail quickly outpaced other email services, which only offered a few megabytes. This was Google's first step toward building a rich service ecosystem. A year later, Google Maps was born, a digital map tool with GPS and directions that changed how people travel and find places. Now, it's hard to leave home without Google Maps. At first, it wasn't very accurate, but it got better and gained trust. In 2006, Google bought YouTube for $1.65 billion in stock, making it the biggest video sharing platform worldwide. In 2008, with the launch of the Android operating system, Google entered the mobile market and quickly dominated over 70% globally. Look at it. From 2004 to 2008, Gmail, Google Maps, YouTube, and Android all appeared in that short time. This was a phase showing Google's expansion. Google moved from just a search engine to a tech giant present in most tech fields: advertising, media, mobile, artificial intelligence, and visionary projects like self-driving cars and medical tech. Still, the company holds to its core principle: organizing the world's info and making it useful and accessible to all. This is not just a slogan, but the guiding star for all company strategies. Throughout its growth journey, as Google gets bigger, many ask, can you escape Google? Can you avoid being found on Google? A fun pastime for many is to type their own name and search. If you use the internet, escaping Google is nearly impossible. Here is why. First, Google is everywhere. It's not just a search engine. If you use Gmail, watch videos on YouTube, use Google Maps for directions, or simply have an Android phone, you're inside Google's network. You're inside Google's network. Even with an iPhone, if you search via Safari and Google is the default search engine, Google still knows what you do. And even if you don't directly use Google services, most websites today use Google Analytics to track visits or Google Ads to show ads. Even if you don't search on Google, just visiting a site using these services lets Google collect data on you. Don't worry too much about Google, because it helps a lot. Imagine a day without Google. As the top search tool, if it stops working, billions would struggle to find info, news, addresses, or just everyday questions. If Google couldn't manage info on its platforms, false or misleading info might spread. I've got the habit of double-checking all info on Google. Or simply, going outside Google Maps is essential for many to get directions, find places, and track traffic. If it goes down, people will have trouble traveling and delivery businesses will be hit hard. That's just simple examples from Google Search and Maps, not even mentioning other areas and deeper apps. If Google ever hits major trouble, the digital world and real life alike will suffer badly. Thanks to Google for sharing this story with you, and thanks to YouTube for helping me keep my passion alive with enough income. If you enjoyed this, please hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and share the video. I'll say goodbye now.